Assalamu alaikum, my brother, my sister. How is your heart truly feeling today? Because lately, something feels strange in this world. People are smiling online, but silently breaking inside. And 800 years ago, Ibn Arabi described a generation exactly like this, a time when hearts would become distracted, exhausted, and distant from Allah. Maybe that time is now. So before this video begins, subscribe if your soul has been searching for something deeper lately. Because this is not just another video. This reminder may change the way you see the world forever. Look around carefully. This world has never been louder. Every second, another notification, another distraction, another reason to forget Allah. We scroll for hours, yet our hearts still feel empty. People are entertained all day, but cannot sit alone with their own thoughts for 5 minutes. And maybe that is the real crisis of our generation. Not the collapse of the world, but the collapse of the human soul. But who was Ibn Arabi really? And why are his words still shaking hearts after nearly 800 years? Ibn Arabi was not a king, not a warrior, not a man chasing fame or power. He was a traveler of the soul, born in a world very different from ours. Yet somehow, he understood the human heart better than many people do today. He spent years searching for deeper truth, reflecting on the soul, the ego, the illusion of dunya, and the relationship between the human heart and Allah. People called him a mystic, some called him dangerous, others called him one of the greatest spiritual minds in Islamic history. But what makes Ibn Arabi so fascinating is that when you read some of his reflections today, it feels as if he was describing our generation. A generation drowning in distractions, a generation connected to screens, but disconnected from the soul. A generation searching everywhere for peace, except the one who created peace itself. And perhaps that is why his words still feel alive. Because Ibn Arabi was not simply talking about the future, he was talking about human beings. And human beings have not changed as much as we think. Now listen carefully, because this is the part that unsettled me the most. Ibn Arabi did not speak about the future like a magician trying to entertain people. He spoke like someone who deeply understood what happens when the human heart becomes disconnected from Allah. And honestly, look at the world today. Never in history have people had so much, yet felt so empty. We chase money, attention, followers, pleasure, entertainment, believing the next thing will finally make us feel complete. But the moment we get it, the emptiness returns. Bigger, heavier, more painful. And maybe that is exactly what Ibn Arabi was warning about. A time when people would become so distracted by the dunya, they would slowly forget their own souls. Think about it. People wake up and instantly reach for their phones before remembering Allah. Hours disappear into scrolling. Silence feels uncomfortable. Real conversations are dying, and many hearts no longer feel peace, even during the night. But the frightening part is this. Most people do not even realize something inside them is spiritually starving. They think exhaustion is normal, anxiety is normal, feeling empty is normal. But the soul was never created to survive without remembrance of Allah. That is why so many people today feel lost, even when they appear successful. And maybe the greatest tragedy of our generation is not that the world became darker, but that hearts became numb to the darkness. So when Ibn Arabi spoke about people becoming spiritually asleep, Perhaps he was not describing some distant future. Perhaps he was describing us. Have you noticed how exhausted people have become lately? Not just physically, spiritually, emotionally, mentally. There are people sleeping 8 hours and still waking up tired, smiling in public but fighting silent battles in private, laughing with friends while feeling completely empty inside. And the scary part is, this exhaustion has become so common that nobody questions it anymore. People call it stress, burnout, overthinking. But maybe the problem goes deeper than that. Maybe the soul is starving. This generation was taught to feed every desire except the heart. We feed the eyes with endless entertainment. We feed the ego with attention and validation. We feed the mind with noise every second of the day. But the soul? The soul is neglected, and a neglected soul eventually becomes restless. That is why even after hours of scrolling, watching videos, listening to music, chasing money, or buying new things, peace still feels missing. Because temporary distractions can entertain the mind, but they cannot heal the heart. And deep down, many people already know this. That strange emptiness after hours online, that heaviness late at night, that anxiety that appears for no reason, that feeling of being disconnected from Allah, even while still believing in Him. These are not small things. The heart was created with a purpose far greater than surviving this dunya. And when the heart becomes disconnected from dhikr, disconnected from silence, disconnected from sincere prayer, life slowly begins to feel meaningless. This is why so many people today are constantly overstimulated, but internally exhausted. Their minds never stop. Their souls never rest. Even when they are alone, they are not truly alone anymore. There is always noise, always distraction, always another screen pulling attention away from the heart. And perhaps this is what makes our generation different. Previous generations feared hunger. This generation fears silence. Because silence forces a person to finally hear what is happening inside them. And sometimes, what is happening inside is painful. But maybe that pain is not punishment. Maybe it is the soul begging to return to Allah. Because no matter how far this world pulls the heart, the soul will always miss its creator. But there is something most people never realize. Even after watching videos like this, they understand the problem. They feel the emptiness. They agree the world is distracting, but they still miss the real secret. And it is not complicated. It is actually painfully simple. Peace was never hidden in success, money, or constant entertainment. Peace was always connected to something deeper. The state of the heart. A heart that remembers Allah is never truly lost, even in chaos. A heart that is connected to Allah can sit in silence and still feel full. But a heart disconnected from Him can be surrounded by everything and still feel empty. That is the secret. Not more noise, not more distraction, not more chasing, but returning to sincerity, returning to reflection, returning to moments where the heart is alone with Allah again. Even if it is just a few minutes of silence at night, even if it is one honest dua with tears no one sees, even if it is one sincere remembrance when no one is watching, because the heart does not heal from speed, it heals from presence. And maybe that is why so many people feel lost today. Not because they don't have answers, but because they have forgotten to pause long enough to feel their own soul again. The world keeps telling you to go faster, but your soul is quietly asking you to come back. Maybe you came here just out of curiosity, But maybe Allah guided your heart to hear this today. Because if you are feeling empty, tired, or lost inside, you are not alone. Your heart is not meant to survive without its creator. So don't ignore that feeling anymore. Come back slowly. Start small. Even one sincere Ya Allah is enough to begin. If this reminder touched something inside you, subscribe, because we don't just share videos here. We share reminders for hearts that are trying to find their way back. And comment, Ya Allah, guide my heart.